Okay. So what you're experiencing at the moment is basically her not giving you any attention when she's outside because the area is a lot more interesting, right? I'm gonna try a few things and see if I can create a little bit of a structure outside. And I think lesson number one is that she has not
Graduated from long leash.
yeah, so that's one thing.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. So as you already mentioned in the text, it's about your expectations as well, and she's not there yet with that. So keep the long leash for the next month or so, unless you have 100% recall. Because in a situation that she was at the tent and she was patrolling the tent, if you had a long leash, you had a lot more success on calling her back. If there's a bird, you have a lot more success to call her back, and so on. I think what's really important, that's what we do with ZenDog differently, is that you need to also understand and be aware of your own behavior when certain things happen, which I think you've tapped into a little bit. So no need for frustration. All right. First thing first, this is all part of the journey.
Yeah.
Okay, remember that forever. And this is a challenge. That's why I love dogs, because they're the best teachers you can possibly bump into in your life. What do you do when you're stressed? How do you get rid of your stress?
I try not to show my emotions. I'm stressed inside, but I don't yell or do any sort of motion that could indicate that I'm stressful.
Okay.
So I am really within myself, but if I don't get the reaction that I want, and I made sure that it took a sweet little time with it, I usually what I did last time is that I abandoned the situation because we clearly wasn't in the right place to do that. So if something just doesn't work today, then maybe we'll visit it back the next day. We didn't really had like a real serious situation where I was really stressed and she did something terribly wrong. So there's no past experience like that, and I think I handled it pretty well. I just the issue is that I lack of tools that I can use
For yourself?
these times. Yeah, for myself. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a few tools for that. Basically, stress gets accumulated in your stomach. All right, so if you become aware of your body, you realize that your stomach is tense.
That's why I have reflux. Okay.
First thing you want to do is to release the stomach. Right, so what that means is that you just want to take a deep breath in and relax your stomach, which is really hard, but just to become aware of that. All right, because once you release the stomach, then everything else is good. The second thing when you're stressed is your breath. You have shallower breath when you're in a state of stress rather than a relaxed state. And breath work is very interesting because when you breathe long and heavy, then that's going to also allow you to release the stress. Because what you're doing is suppressing the stress and not showing it, what the man does, I get it. But also the other way is to actually express it and let it go. Okay. So the other thing that you want to do is to take a few deep breaths into your stomach.
In general, I'm handling stress, I think, like okay, but when I'm with Nora, I try not to show it because I know that she can read my body language like better than everybody else on this whole world, and she probably senses it, but I try to show the least amount of stress that I can possibly show to her.
So that's exactly what I mean, because what you're doing is not showing it, but it doesn't get rid of your stress.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we're saying with this tool, because it does allow you to actually get rid of it. Always ask yourself, and another point here, aside from your stomach, the breath, is your mental state. Is it really that important? It's always the question you have to ask. Okay, is this part of the journey? Yeah. Do I have to be stressed right now? Okay, this thing pissed me off. Why? You can always ask yourself these questions. Is it really, really, really that important?
Yeah.
And the last part is to shake your body a little bit. All right, so I know this is a bit of a weird one, but what you want to do is to just really and a few sighs. If you take a deep breath and do some sighs and even shake your body even a little bit more, so it takes rid of the accumulated stress. Because even if you don't show your stress, it's not about showing. It's the stomach is tense, and they actually pick your breath up. If you're having shallow breath, they know. It's actually scientifically proven. So it's all that, you know, initial state of peacefulness and calmness that you need to embody and manifest into your life. And these are the tools that you can basically use for that. Again.
You're gone.
Cool.
That's it.
Nice. All right. So last bit is just size, man. Alright, and then when you do it, just roll your shoulders back and relax. And so many people have problems with just doing the simple thing, but it just immediately relaxes your eyebrows. Also, the stress could accumulate in your forehead and also your eyebrows. So your frown eyebrow could be also the sun, but if it's not, then always relax the eyebrows. That's also, yeah.
Very sensitive, but yeah,
cool.
I understand you.
Cool. So those are the only things that I wanted to mention, and the tools, but also, you know, like kind of really owning it is going to be a different journey.